So, I believe we should be live now, because it's telling me it's live, so let's just wait and see until we get everybody in the chat telling me that we're live. Hi guys, how's it going? Are we live? Are we good? Is everyone here? Is everything splendid? Is everything wonderful? I hope so. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. I'll just give it a minute or two just to let everybody get in, and so I can double check that everything's running okay. I think we're good. We should be good. Hey, we're good. Okay, wonderful. Hey, Liam. How's it going, bud? Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. Thanks for asking. Yes, so we're going to have fun today. I'm looking forward to this. This is something quite unique for the Elite League. I did want to show the actual stream on my stream. I want to show the stream on my stream, but I contacted the EIHL, asked if I could get it going, but they said no because of copyright. Understandable, absolutely understandable, but you know what it is. You know the situation, folks. Copyright and YouTube, it's an interesting situation. So, okay, good. We've got lots of people here. Hey, guys. Hello, hockey fans. Welcome to my, what's it called? EIHL Elite Series Great British Player Draft Live Chat. That's a pretty long title, but it summarizes exactly what this stream is, folks. So, yeah, I'm going to be sitting here and talking to you guys about the upcoming player draft, as you can see on the screen. It's like there or there, I can't quite remember, one of the two, and I'm going to be sitting here and talking to you about the players that are drafted in the Elite Series, taking place between the Coventry Blaze, the Manchester Storm, the Sheffield Steelers, and the Nottingham Panthers. So usually it's an 11-team league, or last year it was an 11-team league. This year, because of the situation around the world and because of the funding and all of that other stuff, all the situation there in the UK, and yeah, the UK, I was going to say England and then correct myself with UK, but it is the UK. Due to that situation, they've only managed to find 4 teams that are taking part in the event, and the 4 teams that are taking part in the event are the ones that I mentioned already. Now, the reason they're doing this whole thing is not just because they want to get a season of hockey in the EIHL done, because it's not really a real season in the Elite League this year. However, it's a good chance for a lot of our Great British international players to get the opportunity to play before the upcoming World Championships, where we're one of the underdog teams in that championships, and we'd kind of like to do very well, or at least win a game or two, and kind of secure ourselves a place in the top tier. Because I don't think there's any relegation going on in the World Championships this year. But, that said, you know, we don't want to be the bottom team, and kind of, if it were a normal year, we would have been out. So we want to try and do well here, you know. So, guys, I'm going to explain to you, because we've got a little bit of time until the draft starts, I'm going to explain to you folks what the draft actually is and some of the updates we've had during the day, because I thought that would be useful to know for a lot of you guys, because some of you might be watching from across the pond and have no idea what's going on whatsoever. Some of you guys may have heard little bits about the Elite League's player draft and the Elite Series this year, but don't really know the ins and outs of what's going on. So I'm going to bring up a handy dandy Google Chrome doc. There you go, you're welcome. So, the draft. How's it going to work? So it's on the Elite League's Facebook page, as you can see on the screen, EIHL Facebook, go take a look. So at 7 PM today, Monday, 8th of March, which is today, funnily enough, the draft for the 2021 Elite Series will take place, the first of its kind in the Elite League, which I think is a really great idea. It's a wonderful idea. I love this. There could be trades for picks, there could be all of this other interesting stuff. I like this idea, Elite League. Something like this is fun. Good. We're taking steps in the right direction. So, here's how everything's going to work. So, protected players. Each of the 4 teams taking part, the Coventry Blaze, the Manchester Storm, the Sheffield Steelers, and the Nottingham Panthers, as I've got here on my jersey. Each of the 4 teams taking part has protected 5 different players on their roster, and these players are already allocated to those teams in the series. So, similar to an expansion draft, you get to keep X amount of players. The Elite League have decided 5 players. To protect a player, he must have played... Oh, did somebody just subscribe? I believe they did. I forgot I had my Twitch alerts on. Thank you very much for the sub, buddy. Appreciate it. So, to protect a player in the Elite Series and for this draft, the player must have played for that team during the 2019-20 EIHL season, or they would have been signed to that team for the 2020/21 season before it was cancelled, or they would already be under contract for the next season, which is the 2021/22 season. So either they played for the team last year, they were supposed to play for their team this year, but it was cancelled, or they're under contract with the team for next year also. Now, each team's list has been pre-approved by the EIHL's head of hockey operations, Mike Hicks, on this basis. So we have a list of all of the different players that have been protected, which I may as well go through now, actually. That kind of makes the most sense, wouldn't it? So, the first one I've got, Sheffield Steelers. The 5 protected players for the Sheffield Steelers. First one, David Phillips. Are you surprised? No. Second one, Brendan Connolly, one of their best players last year. Not surprised at that one either. Third one, Jonathan Phillips, their captain. I mean, if they didn't protect him, I would have been kind of worried. I know he's getting on a little bit. He's towards the latter years of his career, but he's still a serviceable player in the Elite League. Number 4, Robert Dowd, solid goal scorer in the league, does not surprise me in the slightest. And last but certainly not least, Liam Kirk for the Sheffield Steelers. Now, this caused a load of commotion. Well, not a load of commotion, but it was in the midst of getting ready to cause a lot of commotion, because a lot of people were like, Liam Kirk, how did Liam Kirk get protected? He's been playing in either Sweden or Ontario with the Peterborough Petes for the last couple of years. How could they protect him? Well, I read a quick article from Adam Fox, the head coach of the Sheffield Steelers, and he confirmed that Liam Kirk has been signed to a contract with the Steelers for the 21/22 season if there's no opportunity for him to go and play overseas in North America. He's obviously going to be 21 years old. He's going to be too old to play in the Ontario Hockey League come next season. So he might get the chance to go and play in the NHL or the AHL, because he was obviously drafted in the 7th round by the Arizona Coyotes. He might get to play for their affiliate, the Tucson Roadrunners. However, if he doesn't, he's got a contract with the Steelers. So that's why they were allowed to protect him. Some people might agree with that, some people might disagree, but the fact is, he has a contract with the team. That makes him eligible to be protected by the Steelers. So some might say they're cheating. I would say, you know, can you really imagine Liam Kirk playing for a different team in the EIHL? Like, no. Like, come on, it's Liam Kirk. He's played for Sheffield. He's played in the Sheffield organisation pretty much his entire career before being drafted. So he's not going anywhere, folks. Then the second team, we have the Nottingham Panthers, as some of you Yanks might call it. We have Jackson Whistle in goal. Interestingly, that the Steelers didn't protect a goaltender in the draft. I'm pretty sure both their goaltenders last year were imports, weren't they? So that would make sense. So Jackson Whistle in goal. You have Josh Tetlow, which is one of the tallest defensemen in the league. Robert Lakovic, who's been a long-time player, obviously. Brett Pelini, which I think is a really good pick for them. And Ollie Betteridge. Interesting that they didn't manage to move the logo out of the font. God, you could tell this was made up hastily, can't you? But this is an interesting group. Whistle's a decent goaltender, so I'm happy with that. Tetlow's the kind of guy that he's still young, he's still developing. Do I think they should have protected him? Maybe. I mean, he's still kind of developing. He's more of a bottom 4 defenseman at this moment in time as opposed to a top 2. But then again, this also comes with the caveat of what other British players could they have protected in their system. So maybe he was the right choice after all. Robert Lakovic, he's been playing there for forever. The interesting pick that hasn't been put here is Robert Farmer, and by the looks of it, I don't think he's taking part in the series this year, which is really interesting to find out. Either he's got a chance overseas still for the rest of the year, or he wants to pursue something else over the summer months. There's been several different players that have decided, you know what, I'm not going to be able to agree to do this, or not be able to stick to this because I need to find... You know, I need to find some employment over the summer, because for a lot of these guys, playing hockey is just during a regular season thing. They have other jobs during the off-season, so you can't blame them for that, especially when they've got wives, kids, families, all this other stuff that they need to provide for, and they might be either the only or the primary provider. Maybe they need that extra bit of income. You can't really blame them for that. So Robert Farmer is the real missing link here in the Panthers group. I like Brett Pelini. That's a good choice. He's been solid for the team. And Ollie Betteridge, he's a bit of a Swiss Army knife, him. I'd love to see a little bit more consistency in his goal scoring, but other than that, he's a solid player. So in comparing Sheffield's and Nottingham's with just the protected players that they've got, obviously this might change completely once the draft is actually over. I've got to go with Sheffield's here. They get Kirky, they get Dowd. Phillips is a solid veteran presence. Both Phillips are solid veteran presences. And then Brendan Connolly was a solid scorer for them. So I'd have to go with Sheffield's just kind of on the eye test. But then again, they don't have a goalie, so it'd be difficult for them to be better than the Panthers, kind of on the ice just 5v5. Because, you know, because Nottingham's got a goalie. Then we have the Manchester Storm, which was the second of the teams that were announced. Now they have Dallas Earhart in defence. No goalie here either, which is interesting. Joe Hazeldine, which is the really interesting pick from the Manchester Storm, because Joe Hazeldine has obviously been a Nottingham Panthers prospect for years now. And obviously the Panthers, or the EIHL, announced earlier today that Hazeldine could not be protected by the Panthers. And there was obviously some thoughts from fans being like, okay, well, he's probably signed with a different team. Turns out he signed with the Manchester Storm. And they said, right, if you sign with us, we'll protect you and you can come play with us. So I think for his development, this is a great idea. Would I be surprised to see him back in a Panthers jersey in the next little while? No, not in the slightest. But Joe Hazeldine, good pick. Then you've got Zach Sullivan. So 3 defensemen they've protected. They've got half of their defensive core locked up already. Then they managed to get Kieran Long, which is a real big steal for these guys. Because supposedly, according to the Manchester Storm social media, Kieran Long was obviously signed with the Belfast Giants this last season, the 2019-20 EIHL season. He had previously been with the Manchester Storm organisation. But the interesting thing about this is he had signed a deal with Manchester saying that if Belfast, for whatever reason, couldn't take part in the tournament, then Long would love to play and return to Manchester and play with the team once again. So that's a great pick. I love that. He's a solid player for the team. And then last but certainly not least, you have Finlay Ulrich, however you wish to pronounce it. This is a really interesting pick. I don't really know too much about him. It doesn't say what position he plays either. So either this was another rush job by the EIHL media, or they don't know what position he plays. You know, it might not be that there was a mistake from them. It might just be simply that no one has any idea. Chris, I know you're in the chat. Hey, Chris, how's it going, bud? Can you let me know? I really need to know. Guys, which position does Finlay Ulrich play? I need to know this, guys. And then last, but by no means least, we have the Coventry Blaze, the first team that had their group of players announced. Now, they're the only other team, only 2 teams that have goaltenders protected in this draft. Jordan Headley, goaltender for the Coventry Blaze. Then you have David Clements, the defenseman. Then you have Luke Ferrara. Luke Ferrara is a good choice for the Coventry Blaze. A solid player for them. Moved over from the Sheffield Steelers, and he's played pretty well for the Blaze since his move, so I'm not surprised they chose him. Alex Forbes, the forward. And then Ross Venus is an interesting one. Did Ross Venus play in the EIHL during the 2019-20 season? I don't remember him playing for the team, but that might just be me, because he's one of those kind of aging guys, isn't he? I will just put the preface out here that I'm not an expert on the EIHL. I'm just a fan of the sport. I'm just a fan of the league. I don't know all the information. I'm not like a EIHL insider. I'm just a fan like you guys. I don't have all the information, so some of you guys might need to clarify stuff with me. I'm just here to have a good time, you know? So yeah, that is a look at all of the different protected players. So let's go back to the article from the Elite League and have a little chat. So dual nationals. So we've talked about the protected players. We know all of the protected players now. Dual nationals. For the purpose of this Super Series, any dual national players who are on Pete Russell's, Pete Russell is the head coach of the Team Great British national team, coached the team during their several last few World Championships. The dual national players who are on Pete Russell's long list for the World Championships will be considered as British players and can also be protected in this draft. This has been decided in order to help Team GB's World Championship preparations as much as possible. So it gives them a chance. Obviously, you saw with some of those guys, they might not be necessarily British natives. They may have been born in Canada, North America, but they're dual nationals. That means they have the chance to be protected because that's what the league agreed upon, basically. So, yeah, pretty much. I've noticed that a lot of you are saying he's a forward. Okay, Finlay Ulrich, welcome to the forward core. Roster size. Game day roster sizes for the Elite Series are set to 20 players, 18 skaters and 2 netminders. It's not really a surprise, is it? Most leagues run with 20 players, with 5 protected British players and up to 8 imports allowed. So with the 5 players they've got and up to 8 imports, that's 13 of their 20 players. They need to draft at least 7 additional British players on Monday night. So that's it. That's good to know. It's important. So each team has to draft at least 7 players, but that doesn't mean they can't draft more, and we'll go into that a little bit later. So who's going to be drafted? Some 70 British players. I think it's worked out to about 81. I think, where we're at now. 81 British players have expressed an interest in playing in the Elite Series. These players are made up of those who are on the Great Britain the Great Britain head coach Pete Russell's long list for the World Championships, and anyone else who would like to play. I love that. I love that line. It's like, and anyone else who'd like to play. You know, if you just want to get involved, you want to have a good time, come join us. It may not necessarily be the case that every player is drafted, though. Equally, a team may draft a player but choose not to use them, which is also very interesting. Teams may also draft players who are still under contract in other leagues, which is an important point for some of these high-skill players. However, they will only be able to use those picks if the player's season elsewhere comes to an end. Now, that's really interesting. That is really interesting indeed, because there might be some of these guys like Ben Bounds, Mike Hammond, some of these guys that are playing in Germany, Austria, overseas, elsewhere in Europe, because they've had their season start. If they're still playing for their team, they're not going to be allowed to use them. So how will Ben Bounds and the Graz 99ers do over the next couple of weeks? Obviously, it depends on when their season ends and this season starts, so we'll have to find out. However, there'll only be what else? Yep, okay. These are all points that the 4 head coaches will need to take into consideration. Okay, that wasn't really that important. Right, the 4 head coaches, Aaron Fox. Did I say Adam Fox earlier? I think I might have. It's Aaron Fox. My mistake, of the Sheffield Steelers. Danny Stewart of the Coventry Blaze. Ryan Finnerty of the Manchester Storm. And Tim Wallace with the Nottingham Panthers. But also with Director of Hockey Operations, Guy Doucette. Jointly agreed to draft based on each team's point percentage from the 2019-20 season. So they didn't do anything like a draft lottery, which, you know, could have been a good idea. However, they just decided, you know, points percentage, let the worst team have it. So you can understand that. And then the reverse order, so points percentage for the 2019-20 season, and to then reverse the order each round thereafter under the so-called snake draft system. This means that in round 1, the order will be, so the Manchester Storm get the very first pick in the draft. Then it goes the Nottingham Panthers, then the Coventry Blaze, then the Sheffield Steelers. The Steelers will then have the first choice in round 2, with the Blaze picking next, the Panthers 3rd, and the Storm 4th, and then it will go back for round 3 to the original from the draft order. So basically always goes Manchester, Nottingham, Coventry, Sheffield, then Sheffield, Coventry, Nottingham, Manchester, and it'll alternate and it'll alternate. Now the interesting thing is that they have 7 rounds, but then it says, and so on, until no more teams wish to draft players. So the curious thing I have is, will they go beyond 7 rounds if teams keep wanting to draft these players? If they decide, you know what, we want to pick up 10 British players, then we can decide to scratch some or not use some of them, or we can use all of them and have less imports. Do they decide to do that? That'll be really interesting to figure out. That'll obviously make the draft go on a little bit longer, but I'm interested. And trades. This is a first in the Elite League as far as I'm aware. Teams are permitted to trade picks after the draft has taken place, which is interesting. Any such trades will be announced via the Elite League. I think they can also trade the picks as well during the event. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. And how can you watch the draft? Takes place on Monday, March 8th at 7 o'clock British time. It'll be streamed on their Facebook page. I'm going to be watching it on my phone. I can't show it on the stream because of copyright. I spoke to the Elite League about it and they were like, if you show it, we're going to copyright strike your stream, which is understandable. That's their prerogative. It's their product. Would have been nice if we could have like linked up a little bit, you know, I could have given some exposure to the Elite League, but I understand the where they're coming from. They are well within their right to do so. So, you know, mutual respect there, guys. So yeah, just wanted to take a quick sip. I just noticed that you guys said that Graz were eliminated from the playoffs. Okay, so Boundsy is available. If I feel like the 2 guys that are going to be highly contested at the top are Ben Bounds and Mike Hammond. They're the kind of 2 go-to guys. And speaking of those go-to guys, I believe here I have a list of all of the players that are available. So this is the draft list that we have available. I'm not going to go through every single player on this list. I'm only going to highlight the interesting ones. So the interesting ones, we've got Joshua Batch. He's an interesting pick there. Ollie Bettridge has obviously already been taken. Ben Bounds, he's one to keep an eye out on because he's going to go first or second. If he goes anything lower than second, I'm going to be shocked. And it'd be interesting to see if he does drop to second and whether the Panthers actually take him, because they've got Jackson Whistle already protected. So whether they go for a Bounds-Whistle tandem, which would be a pretty solid tandem, or do they go for a player that they might not get later on in the draft? You've also got Kieran Brown, the youngster for the Sheffield Steelers, or maybe formerly of the Sheffield Steelers. We'll have to find out. You've obviously got Brendan Connolly. Ben Davies is a guy to keep an eye out on as well. Robert Dowd, obviously, has been protected. Sam Duggan, the youngster from the Cardiff Devils. He'll be interesting to keep an eye out on. You have Dallas Earhart, who I believe was protected by Manchester. Luke Ferrara, obviously. Mark Garside. You know, if you're wanting a little bit of a veteran presence there, maybe go for a cheeky bit of Mark Garside. Sam Gospel, he could be a good backup netminder choice in one of the later rounds for one of these teams. I don't think Nottingham will go for him specifically. I feel like he's kind of run his course in the Nottingham Panthers organisation, but maybe that's just me. That's just my thoughts. Youngster Alex Graham will be an interesting pick. I think he'll be chosen somewhere, but I think it'll be a lot lower down the list if you ask me. You got Joseph Hazeldine, who's already been protected. Mike Hammond is one to really keep an eye out on. I think he's either going to be the first or second pick in this draft. I mean, Ben Davies is a pretty decent pick to go in that top 3, top 5 as well. Mark Garside I would expect to go pretty high as well. I think a lot of these youngsters might go towards the 2nd, 3rd, maybe 4th rounds, especially guys like Alex Graham or Sam Duggan, guys that have had a little bit of EIHL time or a little bit of pro hockey experience, but not a huge amount, or not seen as either star players or point every 2-game players in the league, because they either haven't played there long enough or haven't quite developed that far yet. You've also got Lewis Hook, Jason Hewitt, Joseph Hazeldine, obviously Matt Hayward could be an interesting pick for some of these teams. Let's scroll through to the next ones. We've got Sam Jones, Jordan Kelsall will be an interesting pick. Got Liam Kirk. You've got Ben Lake. Ben Lake could be a really good one as well. You've got, I'm trying to look for some of the others. Matthew Myers. Matthew Myers is going to get picked up by a team. Like, there's no doubt about that. It's just a question of where he goes. Brett Polini. You got David and Jonathan Phillips. Tom's Rutkis. He's an interesting one as well. Cole Shudra. He's available. You got Liam Stewart isn't available, which would have been fun. Paul Swindlehurst you've got as well. So there's some fun players here. And then last but certainly not least, you got Ross Venus, Finlay Ulrich, who are both already taken, Jackson Whistle. So basically the last page, there isn't really that many people available. So yeah, that's pretty much a look so far at what's going on with the Elite League draft. So yeah, I mean, it starts in about 10 minutes. I'm pretty impressed that my internet has managed to hold up this long so far, to be honest. So yeah, give me your thoughts. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of all the things that are happening. I'm going to keep you up to date with the latest picks and everything like that, so do keep an eye out. I'll talk about them. We can have a little chat about them in the chat, of course. If you want to subscribe, it comes up with a nice message on the screen. You can be like, hey, Odd Ben Rush, you're great. And I'll be like, stop it. And then you can subscribe, and it's great. The super chats are available if you'd like to. If you want to send a cheeky bit of money my way. Don't have to. Really don't have to, but you're more than willing to if you'd like. And yeah. Go watch some of my videos after this stream. I'd appreciate it. I'm working on a pretty fun one later this week, so we should have some fun. I love my green screen water bottle because it's green. And it's like, it shows up on the green screen and it looks invisible. I love it. Some of you might like it, some of you might hate it, but it's mine. And it's my stream, so, you know, I can do what I want. So, because all of this is being played in Nottingham, isn't it, as far as I'm aware? Is there anything interesting that I can bring up on the Elite League's page while we wait? I don't believe so. I'll refresh their page, see if we've got anything interesting going on. Prediction for the late round, Zach Milton from the Bees. Ton of potential, would be a good option as a 4th line forward for a team. Good hands, can score, but can crash and bang. Every team needs one. Every team needs a guy that goes to the dirty areas and is willing to take a few cross checks in their lower back in front of the net to try and tip something. So, yeah, absolutely. Maybe. I feel like there's not really anything I can kind of leave this on right now, because, I mean, I guess I could just leave it on the... Oh, I've already lost the list of players now, haven't I? I guess I could go back. Could I go back? Well, no, that just brings the Twitter homepage up. That's helpful. There's many reasons why Stewart isn't playing. The EIHL class him as an import and not a Brit. Yeah, true. And 2, he's injured. Yeah, I saw that he was injured, Crossy Gamer or Crocky Gamer. I saw that he was injured. I saw his tweet or whatever saying that he was injured. So I'm going to turn off my Chrome tab right now because there's not really anything to show you, and I'll bring it up as we go along, I guess. So what is the purpose for the draft again? So just to remind you guys, if you joined in late, there's a Elite League Elite Series taking place with 4 of the 11 teams in the Elite League. The global situation, the lack of funding, and kind of the reputation of the British or the UK League in the UK. All of those factors led to them not being able to run a normal 2020/21 EIHL season. The EIHL stands for the Elite Ice Hockey League. It's our top tier of hockey in the UK. Now, this is a chance for all of the great British national players and 4 teams of the 11 in the league to play some hockey earn some money from some webcasts, maybe recoup some losses, but also give Team GB, who are going to the top flight of the World Championships again this year in Riga, because it was supposed to be held in Minsk and Riga, but it's now solely in Riga. It's basically give them a chance to have an extended, relatively competitive training camp, and kind of a chance for the GB players to get some playing time, because a lot of them haven't played since last season, which is coming up to about a year ago. So, you know, it's a good chance for them to kind of get back up to speed, because a lot of these other players will have been playing all season long. So we don't want to be the last team in our division in the World Championships. We managed to beat France last time around. I know there's unlikely to be any kind of, relegation this year because of the uniqueness of the circumstances. But that said, at the same time, we don't want to be the last team, because, you know, it kind of sucks to be the last team and to, like, only get through to the next round or to play at next year's competition because it didn't happen or because there was no relegation. You know, you want to have an honourable way to go through, right? So, yeah. If you keep seeing me look down here, by the way, it's because I've got my chat so I can see what you guys are saying. Anyone else wanted Mosey to come back to Panthers, but so far, although I support Panther Steelers, have the best shot. Yeah, I feel like we can't judge so far, or personally I can't judge on who's got the best chance so far, because we don't know what the teams look like. We'll obviously have a much better look at what the teams look like after this draft, but the one thing we need to keep in mind also is the fact that there's 8 import spots that are available. So, who are those players going to bring back? I feel like Sheffield are in the perfect situation here, because they pretty much signed their entire roster for the 2020/21 season that never took place. So they could basically just be like, oh, you want to come back to Sheffield and try and win us a championship? And they all go, okay, sure, I like playing in Sheffield. So then they all come back and they've basically got most of their team from last year, with maybe even a couple of extra players that they might not have been able to get during a normal EIHL season. So they could put themselves a pretty stacked roster together if they're lucky. But I guess we'll have to find out. I guess we'll have to find out, folks. You can also follow me on Twitter, by the way, at OddmanRushYT. Feel free. Feel free. I sit here and talk about hockey a lot. It's kind of fun. So we've got about 4-5 minutes. I managed to time that quite nicely, because we've got a little while until the stream itself starts. So I'm quite happy. Hopefully you guys stick around once their stream actually starts, because, you know, this is a good chance for us to sit here and have a chat about what's going on, and I'll keep you up to date. It may not be as fancy as the Elite League stream, but yeah. Thing is, even after the draft, we don't know who the imports are. Exactly, Chris. See, we're thinking along the right lines here, bud. You see, this is why we get on so well. I know it sucks, but GB will be last and Finland will be first. Tearjerker, don't say that to me, man. Come on. We've got to beat a team like, what? Who are we playing against? Like, Kazakhstan? Are they in the tournament, or are they in the wrong other group? They might be in the other group. I'm not 100% sure. We've got to beat at least one team. I just want to get one win at the World Championships. That's all I care about. One win. We know we don't have a chance against most of the big league teams. Like I think we're going up against... I can't remember exactly because I can't remember the schedule, but we're going up against, like, Canada, Russia, all of these ones. Like, yeah, we don't stand a chance against those guys. Like, we know that, you know? So hopefully... we do quite well. I'm quite impressed that we have about 50 viewers watching right now. That's pretty cool, especially for something that isn't quite, like, British hockey or UK hockey isn't exactly the biggest thing in the world. Yeah, you know, I think it's pretty cool that some of you guys are tuning in to kind of check it out. It's really cool. So I'm waiting for the stream to start. I'm going to be playing it on my phone because I can't show it on here. Just a heads up. Aidan Meredith, really random, but what happened with Liam Kirk and his contract time in 3rd Swedish League? I know he's playing with the Steel Dogs, but why did he leave? Probably because the Steel Dogs and the Spring Cup decided to open up and he decided he wanted to go home. He obviously had the chance to go play. He was supposed to be playing the season with the Peterborough Petes because it would have been his final year of eligibility in the OHL and in the North American Major Junior system. He obviously had the chance. I believe Aaron Fox, the head coach of the Steelers, helped facilitate his move to the 3rd tier in Sweden. But he maybe after a while he just decided, you know what? I've had fun here. I got some ice time. There's the chance that I could go play hockey in the UK, in Sheffield once again, where he's played most, if not all, of his career. And he gets the chance to play with his older brother as well. Which, you know, you can't discount something like that. like, you know, the chance to play with your brother. It doesn't happen very often. It's going to be something they look back on quite fondly. So, I've got about 2 minutes left to go. How exciting. How exciting, folks. So yeah, I'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on. I'll try and get an elite prospect page of all of the picks that are made, so you guys have a bit of a rundown of all of the players that are being taken and where they go and all of this stuff. You got to bear with me with that, though. We'll see how it goes. I guess I can get rid of the protected lists now. I can get rid of how the draft is going to work. I've explained all that. So basically, I'm just running with a couple of tabs on my computer because I don't want it to crash. Having it crash wouldn't be great. Got to be honest. Like, I'm enjoying how this is going. Like, technically, we're running great. I love it. We've got plenty of people here. I'm happy you guys have joined me today. Welcome to the stream. How's it going, guys? Let's wait. Let's wait and see what's going to go on with this Elite Series player draft. I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm looking forward to it. Like, this is so unique for the Elite League. This is so unique for UK hockey. It's exciting. I like stuff like this. This is fun. This is really fun. And it hasn't even started yet. Imagine how much fun it's going to be when it actually starts. You know, the possibilities are endless. Okay, it's just turned 7 o'clock. Have they got the stream running? It says starting soon. How dare you? I'm ready. It's 7 o'clock. So we've been streaming for about 30 minutes. I feel like I summarised that quite nicely in 30 minutes. Got a few of your comments in there. Very helpful indeed. Here we go. The live video is ready. So, we've got 590 people getting ready for the broadcast. God, we need to beat those numbers, guys. Let's beat those numbers. We can get more than 823 people watching this, right? No? Alright, fair enough. I tried my best. Wow, there's a lot of people watching. Jeez. Fair play to them. It's good to see that a lot of people are excited for the Elite League to come back. Okay, so they're doing a bit of a promo at the moment. There's not a huge amount happening right now, but I'll update you with what's going on. Nice jersey. Thanks, Riley. It's my Nottingham Panthers jersey. The green screen doesn't really agree with it, because it's kind of like that good colour of yellow that it combines with my green screen. And they're like, oh, you want us to, like, you want us to, like, cap that off? And I'll be like, no, I don't want to cap that off. No, you don't have to do that. And then it's like, no, but we want to. Let's do it, you know? So, guys, I want to hear in the chat, who do you think's being picked first in this player draft by the Manchester Storm? I want to hear it. You know what? I want to hear your top 4 picks. I want to hear the first round picks, guys. I want to hear Manchester's first pick, Nottingham's first pick, and then I can't remember the order of the other 2. Sheffield and then Coventry. I don't know. You know. So, they're having a bit of a chat right now. I'm not really interested. I'm not really listening to what they're saying. I just want to know who's getting picked where. Like, the rest of it's not important to me. I mean, I love you, Elite League, by the way. Like, you're great. It's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time. Good choice of jersey. Thank you very much. Hey, we got 69 people watching. Hey. Come on, I want to get it up to 100. We've got to get it up to at least 100, guys. Share it out to everybody you know. All of your Elite League fans. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. I want to get at least 100 concurrent viewers on this. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. But just for the record, guys, this might make me lose a few viewers. I'm not actually showing the draft because of copyright reasons. I spoke to the Elite League. They said, if you show it, we'll copyright strike your stream. So, you know, well within their prerogative to do so. Respect for them for getting back to me in the first place. And it's great. So, job done. Well, they've got 3,000 viewers on the live stream. Fair play to them. Good job. Good job, Elite League. This is what I like to see. And once again, if I keep looking down this way, it's because I'm looking at your comments in the chat on my iPad, so I can see what you guys are talking about. So I've got the Zoom links for all the different coaches. It is coaches and general managers. Interesting that Guy Doucette is the one standing in front of the Panthers one. Tim Wallace has probably been shoved in the background. The background! Shoved in the background somewhere. It's kind of like, you're going there. I'm going to be the one that takes charge of this because I am the director of hockey operations. You're just the coach, Tim Wallace. I know you've played in the NHL, but you move over there, please. Shame you can't show it. It is a shame that I can't show it, but you know, it's the Elite League's product. It's their prerogative. They are well within their right to do so. I certainly understand, but it was worth a try, right? You know, shoot your shot. As the great Michael Scott would say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. So, there you go. So, I just want to know who's getting picked first, please. Who's getting picked first? I'm excited. It's already been running for 3 minutes. See, I was already talking about all of the rules and everything after 3 minutes. Let's get this going, guys. Let's get this going. Come on. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying. Come on, guys. I want to hear your first picks. Let me know in the chat. Who do you think's getting picked first overall by the Manchester Storm in this draft? I want to hear it. I want to see it. I think it's going to be Ben Bounds. I think it's got to be Boundsy. Especially because Kirky's not on the board anymore. So Ben Bounds, he's my pick. What do you guys think? Hopefully this goes better than the Austrian playoffs opponent picking last night where they had an issue with every feed. Ah, don't you just love internet problems? It's the best. So they're currently going through each of the different teams and their protected lists, which I already did. And they're talking to the coaches themselves and kind of having a bit of a discussion as to why they decided to pick those players. Which, you know, it's pretty cool. I mean, if they tuned into my stream like half an hour earlier, you would have got all that information. And I would have had like more of an honest chat about it, you know? Because obviously these teams are like, we picked him because he's a great player. I say, that's an interesting choice. I wonder why they picked them. So, yeah. Hammond is first pick. Interesting. Okay, some people say Mike Hammond. I say Ben Bounds. I guess we'll have to find out, won't we? 4.3 thousand people watching the Elite League the stream, which is cool. It's good to see. It's good to see that there's a lot of people watching the stream. And then we can have a little chat at the end of it to kind of summarize our thoughts. And we'll have a great time. We'll all have a wonderful time. It'll be great. But yeah, we're just kind of waiting for them to notice something now. Given British hockey, sidestepping shenanigans, taking Kerfoot off the board has to be... No, Anthony. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the sidestepping shenanigans. I mean, I can understand why you say that, but at the same time, Aaron Fox, like, they signed him to a contract for next year, and he gave a... and that's one of the criteria. If they're signed for the 2021/22 season, then they're eligible to remain. So whilst it sucks that Kirky doesn't get to play for a different team or be like the top pick in this draft, at the same time, part of me is kind of glad that he's staying in Sheffield because, you know, he's a Sheffield player. He's a Sheffield guy. He is Sheffield, like, you know? I could not imagine Liam Kirk playing for another team other than the Sheffield Steelers in the Elite League. It just wouldn't seem right. Obviously, you could say that about Boundsy as well, but I don't know. They're going through each of the different ones. I mean, they've already been going for almost 10 minutes. I've already talked about all this Elite League. Come on, guys. Can you go to watch the games then? I don't believe so, Tearjerker. I don't believe so because I think it's being held behind closed doors. By the way, guys, I'm really interested to know your thoughts as well about the, paying to be in the stands as like a cutout. I thought it's a good idea, but when you find out it's like 25 quid, I was like, no, it's cheaper to actually buy a ticket to the game most years, and a good ticket at that. Like, I'm not going to pay that much money to have my face planted in the arena. Like, I can understand why some people would want to pay for it, absolutely. But, I don't know. Sorry, this is the British hockey nonsense of all British hockey nonsense, pulling this out of their behind as if by magic. Well, no, I mean, yeah, it's not because he was signed with the Steel Dogs. He actually does have a contract with the Steelers for next season. Aaron Fox signed him to a deal in case he doesn't get any opportunities in North America next year, because obviously he's going to be too old to play in the OHL, because he's going to be 21 years old. He's not going to be eligible. So yeah. Sorry for someone in Germany. What's this draft about? It's to find out which players are playing for who at the 2021 Elite Ice Hockey League Elite Series between the Coventry Blaze, the Nottingham Panthers, the Sheffield Steelers, and the Manchester Storm. So, yeah, there you go. Hopefully that helps Ice Hockey DE. Ice Hockey nerds, love it. I love a good nerd for ice hockey. I'm kind of an ice hockey nerd too, so, you know, hello from England, and hello to you in Germany. There we go. British hockey is very interesting. Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We know we're not the best. But, you know, it's a lot of fun. And it gives these players a chance to keep earning some money doing something they love. So, I mean, say what you want about the overall quality of it. It's still pretty decent. It's still pretty fun. So why not? So I'm very excited to see who we have picked first. I think we're on the final team that we're having a chat to. Let's get this draft going. It's been 10 minutes since it started. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm ready. I'm so ready. Let's do this. Odd Man Rush is ready. My body is ready. Good to see that they've got almost 5,000 people in the live stream on Facebook. That's really good to see. Interesting that they didn't stream it to Twitter and Instagram as well. Like, I feel like they're missing a trick there. You just got to go with a platform that can do all of them. So, I don't know. Just a reminder, guys, super chats are available. If you want to send a bit of money my way, ask me a specific question to make sure I see it. Want to support the channel a little bit, get something said, within reason. Be sensible, guys. But, yeah. So, who thinks Ben Bounds is being selected first in this draft? I do. Some people think Mike Hammond's going to be selected first in this draft. Are you one of them? Plead your case in the court of Odd Man Rush. Let's go. So I'm waiting to see who's picked. I hope they have graphics on the screen saying who gets picked and when. Because, yeah. Because otherwise I might not actually see what's going on. And yeah, why isn't it on YouTube either? Kind of seems like a silly choice. Oh, my dog's barking downstairs. That's interesting. My dog's like, what? Why haven't they started yet? Come on. Elite League, get on it. I want to know where Bouncy goes. Come on. Last time I was in a hockey game, it was in autumn. The last time I was at a hockey game, it was 2018. Or 2019. Late 2018, I believe. Maybe late 2018, mid 2019. It's been a while. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way, shall we? Because I don't live very close to a hockey rink, so... Okay. Oh, okay. Ben Bounds has been selected by the Nottingham Panthers, so does that mean Hammond went first? Hang on a minute. Did they start? Why don't they have a list of the order, like, on the screen? You'd feel like that would be common sense here. Right, let's bring up the EIHL, list. Right, okay, I need to bring it up. Oh, how did I miss this? God damn it. Right, here we go. Okay, pick one. Oh, okay, so Manchester Storm traded the 1st, the 9th, and the 16th pick in exchange for the 2nd, the 7th, and the 10th. And with that first pick, the Nottingham Panthers pick Ben Bounds. Love it. Great choice. Okay, so first pick, boom, Ben Bounds. There you go. First pick of this draft. The second pick has just come in as Ben Lake. Interesting. Ben Lake, he's a pretty solid player. Don't blame them for that choice at all. So we had a trade take place. The first pick got sent to the Nottingham Panthers. They select Ben Bounds, which is a solid choice. Solid choice indeed. So they have a goaltending duo of Ben Bounds and Jackson Whistle. I'd be happy with that. Oh, Mike Hammond has gone to the Coventry Blaze. So they get the 3rd pick of that round, and they pick Mike Hammond. So some pretty solid players going on early in this draft. Ben Bounds, Ben Lake, Mike Hammond. So 2 Bens and a Mike. Not too bad so far. So we've got one more, the Sheffield Steelers in the 1st round. So these are the latest 2 picks that I'll show up on screen for you. Ben Lake and Mike Hammond. And who is the 4th pick, the final pick of the 1st round? Who have we got? It's going to be an interesting one. I don't really know where this one's going to go. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who are the picks so far? Picks so far. Number 1, which was Nottingham Panthers traded for the pick. They get goaltender Ben Bounds. The best goaltender in our country, without a doubt. Second pick by the Manchester Storm, who originally had the 1st pick but traded it to Nottingham. They have Ben Lake, who I believe played a lot of his career in Germany so far. 3rd pick by the Coventry Blaze, Mike Hammond. The 4th pick by the Sheffield Steelers, Matthew Myers. Okay, that's not somebody I would have thought would have gone in the 1st round, but fair play. Matthew Myers, he's been around the league for a long time. He knows how to play. I don't believe Matthew Myers has played for the Steelers before. That's interesting. That's an interesting pick. Okay. He's a solid bottom 6 guy, penalty killer, defensively minded forward. I like that pick from Sheffield. They've already got quite a few high-scoring guys in the draft or in their protected list. They've got Kirky, they've got Dowd, and they've got Jonathan Phillips. They've got those clutch guys. Then the Sheffield Steelers select Sam Jones, I believe the defenseman from the 5 Flyers, as the 5th pick in the draft, because obviously they pick 4th and 5th because of the snake draft idea. I'm loving how quick this is moving now, guys. This is perfect. Love how quick this is moving. So just to summarise round 1, a trade is made between Manchester and the Panthers. The Panthers get picks 2, 7, and... the Panthers get picks 1, 9, and 16. The Storm get picks 2, 7, and 10. First pick. Best goaltender in the league, Ben Bounds for the Nottingham Panthers. What a great choice. Second pick, Ben Lake for the Manchester Storm. Third pick, Mike Hammond of the Coventry Blaze. Fourth pick, Matthew Myers for the Sheffield Steelers. So those are the picks as they stand right now. That's the first round of the draft done because there's only 4 teams taking place. Then we have, as the next pick number 5, Sam Jones. Sam Jones is the next pick for the Sheffield Steelers. They pick themselves up a solid forward and a good young defenseman, I believe. Is Sam Jones a defenseman? Please do correct me on that if I'm wrong. I believe he's a defenseman. Just want to clarify. Oh, my phone's vibrating. That's interesting. I should probably turn the vibration off. There we go. Because I don't want to get picked up on my microphone. You know, got to try and be relatively professional about this. Paul Swindlehurst goes to the Coventry Blaze. So the Blaze have picked themselves up Mike Hammond, picked themselves up a forward and a defenseman in Mike Hammond and Paul Swindlehurst. One of the more veteran guys in the Elite League on that list, so not surprised by that choice at all. I'm just trying to do this to keep up to date with all the different picks, and then we can just kind of scroll up and down on their Twitter page to kind of see who was picked where and when. So Paul Swindlehurst is the latest pick, number 6 overall, halfway through the second round. So 2 defensemen going in the second round, Jones and Swindlehurst. So is it a chance for a forward to come up now? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Interesting, I would imagine that these lists had to have been given by the Elite League, or the teams had to have given these lists to the Elite League before the draft took place, because otherwise they wouldn't have had time to make the graphics or anything. Interesting that they didn't get leaked out either. Or they're just super quick. Like, they must have like 6 different guys behind the scenes just being like, quick, put it on. Joshua Batch gets drafted by the Manchester Storm with the 7th pick in the draft. So another defenseman? I want to say another defenseman. I might be wrong on that. Yeah, I think Batch is a defenseman. So 3 defensemen. It's a defensively minded round here. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So who's next? So it's the Nottingham Panthers choosing now, is it not? 7th. No, it wouldn't be. Because it's the 8th pick we're looking for now. Oh, behind the scenes. So this is what it looks like behind the scenes. Next pick due. 3 minutes are on the clock. Ben Davies goes to the Manchester Storm. So the Manchester Storm pick themselves up a couple of solid players there. A couple of pretty decent players there for their team. Let's just double check if they got it up. So Ben Davies goes to the Manchester Storm and Josh Batch goes to the Manchester Storm. So back-to-back picks for them. I believe the Panthers are picking next. Who are they going to pick? There's still some very solid players up for grabs, folks. Ben Davies, pretty solid player to get him at the end of the second round. Decent choice indeed. Batch is a D and forward. Okay, so I'll class him as a D here. So 3 straight defensemen drafted, but then you could say 2 straight forwards drafted with Davies and Batch. So, you know, take it whichever way you want, folks. Lewis Hook drafted by the Nottingham Panthers in the second pick, or the first pick of the third round. Lewis Hook of the Belfast Giants. Interesting. Lewis Hook's a pretty decent player as far as I'm aware. What are the EIHL teams? There are only 4 teams taking place in this tournament, and it's the Coventry Blaze, the Manchester Storm, the Nottingham Panthers, and the Sheffield Steelers. Sam Jones was a forward up until 16 years old. Interesting. So Manchester is back on the clock. They've made 2 of the last 3 picks. They're going to make 3 of the last 4 after they choose a player. I love how you can see the general managers, or the coaches, I should say, coaches/general managers, like sitting there and going, okay, I'm going to pick this one. So I haven't quite got the graphic up for Lewis Hook being drafted 9th overall. Who's being picked with the 10th selection in the draft? Is this series a yearly thing or created due to COVID? Due to COVID. Craig Peacock gets taken by the Nottingham Panthers. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Do they mean the Manchester Storm? I'm so confused. Was there a trade announced or something? Let's have a look at this. There might have been a few updates here. No, so with the 9th pick, the Panthers get Lewis Hook, which is a pretty good selection. And then they've picked 10th as well. Was that part of the trade earlier? It might have been. I might have forgotten that already. No, 10th should have been the Manchester Storm as far as I'm aware. I will have to double check that once they bring it up on Twitter. Have they said that all players will go back to their former teams? Yeah. All players, as far as I'm aware, are going back to their previous teams. This is only just for this year. Just for this year. It's a unique season. Where can you watch the draft? It's available on the Elite League's Facebook page. If you check the Elite League's Facebook page, you should be able to watch it. I'm sorry I can't show it, copyright and all that. But, yeah, you can watch it on their Facebook page, which is where I'm watching it on my phone, just to keep a good idea. So, yeah, it was the Manchester Storm who chose Craig Peacock, not the Nottingham Panthers, although they have the Nottingham Panthers written up there, so not the best graphic there from the Elite League, but they're having to work really quick, so I don't blame them. Storm gave nothing first pick. Wait, so Belfast Giants aren't taking part? General Gunderson, they are not. The Belfast Giants are not taking part because they're based in Northern Ireland. The Coventry Blaze pick Cole Shudra with the 11th pick in the draft, as far as I'm aware. So, there we go. Got about 50 people watching here, so thanks for keeping an eye, folks. I'm keeping you updated with all the different picks that are coming in. Each team's getting themselves a decent set of players, and hopefully by the end of it, we'll be able to sit here and talk about all the different players that were taken. But, yeah, so the latest pick is Cole Shudra going to the Coventry Blaze with the 11th pick in the draft. So they have up to 7 rounds available. So that means there's going to be at least 49 picks in this draft. I'm going to stick around for the whole thing. You know, I'm committed, guys. I'm committed. Are you? Are you committed? Let's do this. Josh Waller gets picked by the Sheffield Steelers with the 12th selection in this GB player draft. Josh Waller, don't recognise that name. He was with the Guildford Flames by the looks, based on his player profile picture. What's the Elite Series then? It's a chance for the GB players to get some ice time before the upcoming World Championships, where Team Great Britain is taking part. So, there you go. Let's see who's picked next. 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 Sheffield Steelers, I believe, are picking again. So let's see who they pick. Alex Graham. I'm not surprised by that choice whatsoever. He's one of their young up-and-coming prospects. I mean, would you have guessed anybody else other than Alex Graham? No. So yeah, Josh Waller got taken by the Sheffield Steelers, and then once again, the Sheffield Steelers picked again because of the snake draft, and they selected their youngster, Alex Graham, who's been playing for the Steel Dogs, as far as I'm aware. Although somebody in the chat might want to correct me on that. And then, yeah. So there you go. So we're coming up to the 13th pick. Let me just run down all the previous picks once they come up on the screen while we wait for some of the other picks to be made. So, before the draft even took place, the Storm traded the first overall pick, the 9th and the 16th, to the Nottingham Panthers in exchange for the 2nd, 7th and 10th picks overall. With the first pick, the Nottingham Panthers choose Ben Bounds. They've probably wanted to get their hands on him for quite a long time. They thought this was their best chance. Ben Lake goes 2nd to the Manchester Storm. 3rd, Mike Hammond to the Coventry Blaze. 4th, Matthew Myers to the Sheffield Steelers. The Sheffield Steelers also pick up, as part of this snake draft, Sam Jones, the defenseman, formerly of the Five Flyers. 6th, the Coventry Blaze pick Paul Swindlehurst. 7th, Josh Batch goes to the Manchester Storm. 8th, Ben Davies goes to the Manchester Storm. 9th, Lewis Hook goes to the Nottingham Panthers. Craig Peacock goes to the Manchester Storm, not the Nottingham Panthers, 10th overall. 11th, Cole Shudra goes to Coventry. 12th, Joshua Waller goes to the Sheffield Steelers. 13th overall, Alex Graham goes to the Sheffield Steelers. And I believe Sam Duggan goes to a team. I believe it was the Coventry Blaze, I want to say. I'm just waiting for them to... Sam Duggan goes to the Coventry Blaze. There you go. That was announced just as I was reading them out. Mark Garside goes to the Nottingham Panthers. There you go. There you go. That's an interesting choice. It's an interesting choice. A good veteran guy. I'm pretty happy with that if I'm the Nottingham Panthers, which I'm a fan of their team. So a pretty good choice if you ask me. There you go. Why not? It's all good. So the Panthers choose Mark Garside. Who is up next? I have no idea. Let's find out. Sam Duggan. He looks 16. What? Alex Graham? It's because he is like 16 or 17. Yes, thank you, Stu. Yep, you can watch the draft live on the EIHL Facebook page. I can't show it due to copyright reasons. I apologise, but that's just the way it goes. Guy Doucette has run off the camera because he's had enough. He's like, no, I got Garside. Oh, there's a call taking place. Guy Doucette had a little phone call, but it probably wasn't related to the draft. No trades taking place as far as we're aware. Looks like the Panthers are picking again. So they picked Garside, but because they're at the bottom of the standings, they pick Owen Griffiths. Don't quite recognise Owen Griffiths' name. I'm liking how quick this is going, though, guys. I'm liking it because I can keep updating you with what's going on. Then we can sit back and have a real big look back at all of the picks once we are done. So, if we're on pick 16, that's the end of the 4th round, I believe. So, we've only got a couple more rounds to go. At least. They might choose to do some more rounds. But yeah. It's going quite well so far. So Mark Garside is the pick. The latest pick is from the Nottingham Panthers, 16th overall. Manchester on the clock for the 17th overall pick, or the 17th pick. It's not really overall picks because there's not 200 choices being made. Hey, Windy City Hockey, how's it going, bud? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the EIHL GB Players Draft live stream. We're seeing where all the British players are going. Matt Hayward gets taken by the Manchester Storm. Formerly, I believe, of the Guildford clan. Not the Guildford clan, the Glasgow clan. Guildford clan? What am I talking about? Owen Griffiths, pick 16, going to the Nottingham Panthers. 17th, Matt Hayward for the Manchester Storm. So next up, I believe, we have the Coventry Blaze. We might have the Sheffield Steelers. I can't remember. I'm not in charge of that. Oh, it's the Nottingham Panthers back up again. Why are the Panthers back up again? They literally just picked 2 picks ago. I'm so confused. Okay. I'm glad they got Bouncy, though. That's a great choice. God, Bouncy in a Nottingham Panthers jersey. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, folks? Bouncy in a Nottingham Panthers jersey. Oh, Kieran Brown going to the Nottingham Panthers. Oh, there's going to be a lot of Steelers fans not happy about that. Oh. That's a great pick for them. He's a solid young player. I like the look of Kieran Brown and how he's played the last couple of years. That's a really interesting pick. That's a really interesting pick. I hope that he finds his form with the Panthers. That'd be a good one, because there was potential talk about him a year or two ago being eligible for the NHL entry draft and whether he'd be picked or not, which he wasn't, unfortunately. He was kind of seen as like the heir apparent to Liam Kirk at one point. Maybe that's just because he was within the Sheffield Steelers system at the same time. I don't know for sure. What I do know is that the Panthers got him. So why not? I would imagine there's lots of little trades going on behind the scenes, but I haven't got the sound on because I don't want to get copyright hit with this. So the 18th pick was selected by the Nottingham Panthers, who chose themselves Kieran Brown. Excuse me, cheeky burp. Going to drink some water because I'm just talking. I'm going again and again and again. Okay. Mac Howlett going to the Coventry Blaze, formerly of the Glasgow clan, not the Guildford clan, the Glasgow clan. Hey, you're Elijah. How's it going, man? Lockie047, what team do you support? I'm a Blaze fan. I am a Nottingham Panthers fan first, and a Sheffield Steelers fan second. I know it's sacrilegious, right? But, you know, I like to mix things up. I like to be a little bit controversial here, you know. So make sure you stick around. Make sure to let everyone know after the live stream takes place. We'll have a little chat about some of the picks. Have some of our thoughts, you know. So Mac Howlett, I believe, was the latest pick of the Coventry Blaze. Let's see. I believe they should have it up. The Sheffield Steelers are up to pick next. Missed out on their boy, Kieran Brown. Kieran Brown! That was probably a terrible accent, wasn't it? I should probably apologise for that, shouldn't I? Ben Churchfield, the goaltender for the Sheffield Steelers. I believe... has he been signed in the Steelers organisation before? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. But yeah, we've still got about 50 people watching this. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah. So, pick number 19, Mac Howlett for the Coventry Blaze. And then the 20th pick has just been made by the Sheffield Steelers, Ben Churchfield. So, we are already 5 rounds into this draft. How can you support Panthers and then Steelers? Very easily. I'm doing it right now. It's a lot easier than you think. I'll just go, I like the Panthers. And then when the Steelers play, I like the Steelers. And when they both play, I go, I'd probably prefer the Panthers to win, but I'm not really that bothered either way. Easy. Although, Panthers are my first team, I've got to say. Panthers are my first team, I must say. So on pick 21, Jason Hewitt going to the Sheffield Steelers, a former Sheffield Steeler himself, so he's returning to the Steelers organisation. Jason Hewitt. which is a pretty decent pick. Pretty decent pick there, boys. Pretty decent pick. I keep refreshing the page because I want to get the latest picks up there. Ben Churchfield, pick number 20. Pick number 21, Jason Hewitt for the Sheffield Steelers. They've picked 2 of the last 3 picks. We have Sheffield up again, so they're picking 3 of the last 4 picks. Just the way it goes, you know? Just the way it goes, folks. But yeah, I'm glad that the stream is holding up well. I'm having a good time. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. And we're having a good time. It's all good. Ackroyd, hey buddy, welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Welcome. We're talking through the Elite Ice Hockey League's draft at the moment, and we're on pick number 22, I believe. I'm just waiting for the thing from pick number 21, and then we should be good. We should be good, you know? Hopefully you guys can see enough of the screen in the top left there. I didn't want it to like clash with anything else on the screen, so I kind of kept it, you know, a little bit smaller than I probably could have. But, you know, Tom's Rutkiss goes to the Coventry Blaze. So one of the youngsters there. I say youngsters, he's now what, 23, 24? He's about my age. Casually wave an orange handkerchief in the Nottingham Panther end. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? So Jason Hewitt, 22nd overall to the Steelers. And then Tom's Rutkiss going to the Coventry Blaze. Do you watch darts? No, I personally find it boring. More power to you if you like darts. By all means, go for it. Live your best life, folks. You want to watch darts? By all means. Have a good time. Have a good time on me. But me personally, nope. Do not find it interesting at all. Darts seems pretty fun to play, but not watch. In my opinion. The Nottingham Panthers are up next. Who are they picking? Does that mean some of the teams have dropped out? Manchester hasn't made a pick in a while. Or that might just be because of the snake draft system. Jordan Kelsall returning to the Nottingham Panthers with the 23rd pick of the draft. Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Jordan Kelsall returning. So they get one of their youngsters back. I bet he's hoping, anywhere but Nottingham. I just want to get some playing time. Send me to Manchester. Send me to Coventry, please. And Jordan Kelsall, you're back in Nottingham, dude. Welcome back. Welcome back. Nice to see ya. How you been? Rutkiss, yep. Rutkiss has gone to the Coventry Blaze. Or as the Americans would say, the Coventry. They probably wouldn't say Coventry, but it's Coventry. So yep, 22nd pick, Tom's Rutkiss. It's a great name, Rutkiss. I like that name. That name's pretty cool. So yeah, Manchester Storm on the clock, finally. I was hoping they'd be on the clock at some point. And then I will take you through, at the end, I'll take you through all the different picks that are made. Declan Balmer for the Manchester Storm. I believe he has played for the Manchester Storm recently. Or is that the Bracknell Bees that he's played for? I see the bee on, like the bee bug, insect, animal on his, on the front of his jersey. So he might be with the Bracknell Bees, although it looks like Manchester Storm colours. So he might be returning to Manchester, or he might be getting his first shot with Manchester. I'm not quite sure. So we're getting into the bit of the doldrums here, the later round picks. Still players with tremendous value here. You know, these are guys that can help contribute to their team. They're obviously not the top picks available in the draft, but still. What is this players' draft? It's for the UK-based Elite Ice Hockey League and their Super Series that they're running over the next couple of weeks. Stephen Murphy going to the Manchester Storm, formerly of the Belfast Giants. Okay, so we're getting a couple of Belfast players being taken here in the draft. Not surprising, all things considered. So that is, I believe, the 26th pick, the 25th pick. So we're getting close to what, the 6th round of the draft now, I think. Is that the 6th round? No, we're not in the 6th round, are we? What's fifth? Yeah, we are in the 6th round. Yeah, this is starting the 6th round, isn't it? Well, this is the end of the, yeah, this is the start of the 6th round. Something like that. I don't know. I'm just here to talk about hockey. I don't do math. Math's for smart people. Me? Smart? No. Pfft, come on, guys. He played for Manchester for like most of his career, I think. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. My mistake. I'm not too keyed up with a lot of the depth players in the Elite Ice Hockey League, as you can tell. So yeah, Stephen Murphy, 25th overall to the Manchester Storm. The Nottingham Panthers are on the clock for pick number 26 in this draft. He's returning. Been playing with the Storm since 2016-17. Okay, fair enough. My mistake. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the clarification. Appreciate it. So who have the Panthers picked? Craig Garrigan for the Nottingham Panthers. I believe he may have played with the Dundee Stars before. Looks like a younger player by any means. So maybe another prospect in the system. Hopefully trying to play some young guys. Give them a bit of an opportunity to prove themselves for the Nottingham Panthers. So that's pick number 26. Who is up next? Who's up next, guys? Who's up next? Who's that Pokemon? He's currently with the Division 1 team Blackburn Hawks. Oh, okay, cool. Meth is for us, leave math for smart people. There you go, folks. You heard it here first from Tearjerker. Murphy is a solid pick. Good. Good, I'm sure the Coventry Blaze will be very happy with it then. Well, it was the Coventry Blaze that picked him, right? It was the Manchester Storm. My mistake. I'm sure the Storm will be very happy with him then. And then we'll go back and go through every single one of the picks, and I'll give you a little bit of my thoughts on them at the end. Not sure I'll be able to say which is the best team. Hopefully that once I've done that, they'll have got up a few graphics of all of the players on each team. Ivan Antonov, going to the Coventry Blaze. He's a name I do not recognise in the slightest. Crocy, do tell me, or Crotchy, whatever your name is. Do let me know in the chat if he's one of those D1 guys. Because you seem to know all about the D1 guys. You're like my D1 insider. I like that. It's important. Craig Garrigan. I love that name. It's probably not Irish, but, you know, it just sounds good when you say it in an Irish accent. Or my attempt of an Irish accent. It's not a very good one, admittedly, but, you know. Pick number 28. Antonov, what's your thoughts about time? I hope Jordan McLaughlin gets picked. That'd be interesting. I got on a stick yesterday and I was scared to shoot with it. Oh, well, hopefully after the next week or so, Landon, you'll want to shoot it a little bit more. Sheffield Steelers pick up Adam Jones of the Telford Tigers, or formerly of the Telford Tigers, I should say, because now he's moving on to the Sheffield Steelers. There you go. So that's pick number 28. So we are... what's 28 divided by 4? That's what, 7? Is that 7? 8? No, yeah, that's 7. So I believe we're entering the 7th round of the draft now. My math might be completely wrong, by the way. I'm willing to accept responsibility if it's terrible math. But you know, you just gotta give it a try, you know? If you try your hardest, you might be able to achieve something. That's my motto in life. Breaking expensive sticks is the worst. Tell me about it. Oh, is that it? I think we might have been done. I think that might be the end of the draft. Maybe all the teams have decided not to pick any more players. Or they've taken a break and they might be getting their thoughts. But they've gone to some... They're showing the kind of promo for the series. So let's see. Let's see if there's any more picks. I would imagine there isn't if they're cutting to that. They've probably decided that, you know, we've had 7 rounds. We've each got ourselves 7 picks. We're happy with them. So there's a lot of players that still weren't picked. Obviously, there are about 70 to 80 players that would put themselves available. If each team has protected 5, that's already 20 players gone. Then another 28 players have been picked. That's 48. That's 48 out of the 80 picks. Oh, they've come back. What are they talking about here then? Are they going to be picking some more picks? I don't know. Are they going to be picking some more picks? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Are we going to wait to find out? Let's see. Or are they just going to have a little chat? That's the first 7 rounds now. It's Taxi Squad draft. Hey! Okay, so they are actually picking more players. Okay, good. I was kind of hoping they would. Would have been disappointing if it was only like a 30-minute draft. Could you imagine if the NHL did a 30-minute draft? I'd love that. They'd take away all of the preamble. It'd be great. It'd be wonderful. I'd love that. Especially because I have to stay up to like bloody midnight to watch it. So are we picking any other players here, folks? So the Manchester Storm are having a bit of a chat. Any players being taken? Adam Jones played for the Tigers back in 2017. He spent the last 2.5 seasons with the Basingstoke Bison. Okay. He was Tigers assistant last season, signed for 5 this year. I see. Fair enough then. Fair enough then. So, Are they just having a little chat? I'm just going to turn up the volume a little bit so I can actually hear what's going on. I can't hear it loud enough. Oh, I don't want to turn it up anymore. So maybe they have done it. He's also Sheffield's Sam Jones' brother. Yeah, I thought he was. I didn't. I thought it didn't really cross my mind, but there you go. So I'm waiting to see if they put up a graphic with all of the players and which team they're being taken by. That would be tremendous. I'd really appreciate that, Elite League, because then I can sit here and talk about it. And we can have a wonderful time. It's great. So, as it stands right now, we've had 28 picks. That's all 7 rounds done. So if they start picking some extra players, then we'll have to keep an eye out. And then we can have a little chat about who was picked and who we think might be some of the guys that are a bit of an X factor. Some of the guys that, you know, might have a good chance to play really well. Some of the guys that we're a bit surprised about where they were picked or where they're going. That could be fun too. Who knows? I feel like the Nottingham Panthers might have difficulty scoring goals this year. That's the one thing I'll say about that. I feel like they didn't pick, or they don't have very many guys that are known as, like, solid goal scorers. I feel like they're going to be more of a shutdown, win a game 2-1 or 1-0 kind of team. They've got Bouncy in net, who's a solid netminder. They've got Jackson Whistle as the backup, who's also a solid netminder. They've got, you know, Mark Garside. They've got... I would imagine they're going to be kind of hoping for some of the youngsters to step up, because they've got Lakovic. They've obviously got Lakovic. They kept Tetlow. They kept Pelini. Pelini might be leaned on a little bit too heavily for this Panthers team, because that's going to be a tough one. John Francis, hey bud, welcome to the stream. Hi, what's your favourite NHL team? I'm unfortunately a Vancouver fan. You poor thing. I'm a New York Rangers fan. Rangers are my favourite team. If I had to pick a second team, the Montreal Canadiens. My girlfriend lives in Montreal. I've been to Montreal the last 2 summers. Well, not this last summer because of the global situation, which I'm really bummed out about. But the 2 summers before that, 2018, 2019, I spent in Montreal working at a summer camp over there. So I love Montreal. I would hopefully like to live there one day. Or in Canada. That'd be fun. It would be nice to watch a NHL game at a reasonable hour for once. It's going to be weird adjusting to it, though. I'll be over there and be like, oh, I'm ready to watch a hockey game. And it's going to be like, oh, it's actually 3 o'clock in the morning and the game ended like 6 hours ago. Oh. You know, it is what it is. Pelini is the Panthers' best player. Well, not anymore. Bouncy's their best player. Bouncy is their best player without a doubt. So it looks like they're just having a little bit of a chat about their responses to the draft. So I feel like we should find... Is there any way to just find their photos instead of just going like straight to media? So now I'm going to have to scroll down like 28 different posts. And then we're just going to have to go through each and every one. So that's only pick number 9. So we're almost there. So if I click on the post, and then if I just scroll through, I should be able to do it. I was meant to go to last week to watch Vancouver Bloody Virus, so I feel your pain. Yeah, absolutely. It sucks, right? And I should probably bring out this as well. Will that help? Yes, it will. It will for me, but you won't really be able to see it that much. I haven't watched NHL games. How's Kako been playing? He was on the COVID protocol list for a few games, which is good. But they also... Kako was on the COVID protocol list. He's been playing quite well. He hasn't been getting the points that we've been wanting, but his overall 200-foot game, much better. You can tell that he has an impact every single shift. He's gotten a lot stronger on the puck, which is really good. Really happy to see that. And yeah, he's playing quite well. So if I just scroll, will it work if I scroll through? Or will it not? I don't think it's going to. Okay, fair enough. Let's go do it like this then. Will this work if I scroll through like so? Yes, it will. Okay, let's scroll back. All of the picks. And then I will go through them. Why not? Might take a little while to actually scroll through them. It's struggling a little bit, but we'll get through it, folks. We'll get through it. Pick number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll just click it 10 times, see if it works. Well, Bounds will be forced to play good because of Whistle. Exactly. Exactly. You've got to have a good goalie tandem, especially... Yeah, they're not playing the most amount of games in this season, but, you know, at the same time, lot of games to play. A lot of games to play. That's Josh Waller. That's not Ben Bounds. So pick number 1, Ben Bones. So they're still having a little bit of a chat by the looks of it. Bear with my internet and the the thing on the side. Maybe I'll just bring that down for a sec while I get it. While I get it sorted, I'll just take it off for a second. Okay. It was kind of a waste at that point because it's already ready again. So I'll just bring it up. There we go. And yeah. So, yeah, I'm just waiting to see if there's any other news or responses from the Elite League. Doesn't look like it, because I don't want to, like, get started in having a little chat about each of these picks. And then, you know, they're like, oh, we're actually picking, like, 7 more people. Doesn't look like it, as things stand right now. But yeah, I've had a pretty good time enjoying this stream with you guys. I'm not finished yet. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere just yet. I'll sit here and have a little chat about each of the picks that are being made, etc., etc. And it'll be fun. We're going to have a good time here, guys. Because, I mean, I've been streaming for about an hour now. Well, over an hour. About an hour and 10 minutes, 70 minutes or so, which isn't too bad. Not the longest stream by any stretch, is it? But I'm having a good time, guys. Hope you're having a good time also. Because I am. It's got an itch on my eye. So I'm going to itch it. And I'm glad I did. Right, so having a little chat. So let's go through these picks. So, let me give you a recap of the draft and my thoughts. So, before the draft even took place, the Manchester Storm, who originally had the first overall pick in this import draft, or not the import draft, the GB Players draft, they announced that they were trading the first overall, the 9th overall, and the 16th overall picks to the Nottingham Panthers in exchange for the 2nd overall, the 7th overall, and the 10th overall picks. So they dropped from 1st to 2nd, but they also managed to jump up 2 spaces with their 2nd pick and 6 places with their 3rd pick. Oh no, they are picking more players. Jack Muzzle has been taken by the Sheffield Steelers. I knew they were going to do this. Ah, right, okay. I'm going to bring up the Twitter page. Just bear with me. So, Jack Muzzle going to the Sheffield Steelers. Stu, can you just tell me what's the latest? Because I'm not actually listening to the stream. I'm just looking at the overall selections. I'm just watching the stream, but I can't actually hear any of it. Like, what was the reasoning behind it? Is it just because, like, Sheffield wants to pick, or they're picking back up? They're picking more players, which is good. I'm very glad to hear this. So, okay, it's all very exciting. I thought they were done. But then there's more. I'm so excited. I can't believe you've done this. Exactly. So who's next? So we've got the 29th pick that came in. So we're moving to the 30th pick. So we're going beyond 7 rounds. So I would imagine there's a few other teams that are wanting to select players, which is good. I'm glad that they're selecting more GB players. I like it. Because at the end of the day, they either play them or they don't. And if they do, more British players on the ice. If they don't, they have a few healthy scratches. So, 29th overall from the Glasgow clan, Jack Muzzle for the Sheffield Steelers. Sam Russell of the Milton Keynes Lightning going to the Coventry Blaze, 30th overall. Okay, fair enough. So they're now picking depth players, so separate kind of draft. Got it. Thank you, Stu. Appreciate it, bud. Yeah, I would imagine like this is kind of the prospects, the depth players, those kind of guys that you know, may or may not make the roster, or they're the 13th forward, or they're guys that might play 4th line time or come in as injury cover, but guys that, you know, may spend more of the season out of the lineup than necessarily in it. So there you go. So the Nottingham Panthers are up now. I feel like at this point you either need to go for a veteran guy that's been in the league for a long time, or a youngster. A youngster that's kind of maybe got their feet wet a little bit. Liam Stenton going to the Nottingham Panthers with the 31st pick in this draft. Liam Stenton, don't know much about him. He seems like a youngster, so good choice. That's pretty much all I can say. I'm not the best draft analyst, am I? I'm not an expert on all things UK hockey, as you can tell with my channel. It's mainly directed towards the NHL. So I'm more of an expert on that. But yeah, not a bad pick as far as I'm aware. I mean, he's a youngster, so why not? So yeah, who's next? Have we got another pick yet? Nope. Wait, I shouldn't sing that because I'll get copyright strike. I don't know why it's in my head either. But yeah. So who's getting picked next, guys? We have another pick in. It is Jacob. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Lutwich. Of the for the Manchester Storm, I believe. Liam Stenton is from the Solway Sharks. Yep, D1 North SNL player, Scottish National League, the Solway Sharks. So yeah. Just sending a message. Bear with me. Wonderful. So, Ben Solder going to the Manchester Storm. I love that we've got some more picks going on here. So, how many have we had according to the Elite League? So, we've had 33 picks. So, Loot White. I don't know. It would help if I listened to their stream, but copyright problems. The Nottingham Panthers are up again. Refuse to play the audio over copyright, gets taken down for singing. Pretty much, Stu. Pretty much. Solder played for the Chelmsford Junior and in the States. Okay. Morgan Clark Pizzo, the USPHL. That's a league I recognise in North America. He goes to the Nottingham Panthers. Okay. So the Panthers are going with younger guys. I like it because hopefully they get some solid imports over the next month or so. That'd be really good. So we're on pick number 35. So we're well into the 9th round now. No, the 9th round would be 36, wouldn't it? Yes? No? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know what I've been told. The Nottingham Panthers jerseys are gold. Sound off. Jacob is already a Storm player, so makes sense. Fair enough. This will get copyright struck because your voice is too beautiful. Stop it. Stop it. Will Bray goes to the Coventry Blaze. I'm liking that they're picking a lot of younger guys. I'm surprised there's not so many depth players being picked either. So yeah, Morgan Clark Pizzo goes to the Nottingham Panthers. And then 35th overall, the Coventry Blaze picked themselves a player. So, wonder how many picks they're going to go with. Do you reckon it's going to go up to 50? They're going to go 40? I feel like they're going to at least go 40. Like, it's going to at least go 40, right? Is it going to go 50? Curtis Warburton. Curtis Warburton or Warburton, however you wish to pronounce it, go to the Sheffield Steelers. There you go. Warburton going to the Sheffield Steelers. Warburton going to the Sheffield Steelers. Just checking something. I can bring the chart back up now. Will Bray going to the Coventry Blaze. I forget their names like 2 seconds after they're on the screen. My attention span really isn't very good, is it? So, 36th pick, Warburton. See, that's how I remember that name. I hope it's Warburton and not Warburton, because, I don't know. The Brit in me is just like, Warburton. Because, you know, the famous bread brand, you know, Warburton. Yeah, that's a great thing to mention, Odd Man Rush. Nice one. That's so topical. Yeah, so how are you guys enjoying it so far? I wonder how many picks they're going to go to, though. I did mention this a minute ago, but, like, I feel like 50 picks, I don't think they're going to go any more than 50 picks. Because then we're going to be, well, we're almost at the hour territory already. Austin Mitchell-King. I love how they don't have a photo for him. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. They're like, Austin Mitchell-King, he is a ghost. We don't even know if he plays hockey. But the Coventry Blaze picked him. Love that. Okay, the Steelers are done for now. Okay, so the Steelers have decided they're not picking anybody else for the time being. Chris Warburton, obviously the guy they wanted. And they're like, boom, we're done. I would imagine a couple of the other teams will drop off eventually as well. I feel like Guy Doucette might be done. Or maybe not. I don't know. Yep, the Sheffield Steelers. Steelers pass on making a pick. They are complete. Fair enough. Sheffield Steelers are done for the night. And they're probably like, oh, it's coming up to 45 minutes since we started picks. I think I'm good. Oh, okay, so Will Curlin goes to the Nottingham Panthers. So the Panthers aren't done yet. Picking up a few extra picks for themselves also. Good to know. Very good indeed. Will Curlin gets selected. So we've had 1 through 36, all selected by teams. 37th pick, not selected. Then we have 38, Austin Mitchell-King goes to the Blaze. And then pick number 39, Will Curlin to the Nottingham Panthers. Are the Manchester Storm going to make any picks? I feel like the Steelers don't need to worry too much about, provided their imports that they signed for this most recent season. Oh, the Manchester Storm have signed Sam Gospel. I quite like that choice, actually. I hope Gospel gets a bit of playing time. You know, as a Panthers fan, they've always brought in another goaltender to kind of come and play starter or backup, and Gospel's always been the third string guy. He's always been the bridesmaid, never the bride. Hopefully, now that he goes to Manchester, I can't remember who their other netminder is there in Manchester, but hopefully he gets a chance to play a few games. Maybe sit up in about half a dozen games, maybe. That'd be nice. And hopefully he plays well and maybe gets a gig next year. I would really like to see that from Sam Gospel. But yeah. So that's 40 picks in the books. Anybody else wanting to make any picks? Is Sam Gospel going to be the final pick of this draft? That'd be interesting. I said he was going to be a depth pick. Okay, Crossy Gamer says the draft is pretty much complete. So we might be done. We might be done. So 40 picks. I said it was either going to be 40 or 50. So technically, each team, except for Sheffield, picked 10 times. So 10 different UK/dual national players. And the draft is over. 40 players selected. The draft is complete. Let everybody know. Let them know on the Facebook stream that, you know, this stream's going up. We're going to have a little chat about all the picks. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for them to finish up. I've got a running slideshow based on, like, looking at all of their images and stuff of the very first, going from the first pick and the first trade and everything, and we can just kind of roll through all of them. And I think we could have a good time once they're all picked, because we've been streaming for about almost 90 minutes. I thought it was quite fun. I've been having a good time with this. Hopefully you guys have been too. Maybe you haven't. I don't know. What am I, your dad? No. Coaches are just giving their final thoughts on rosters. Okay, yeah, I'm not really that interested now. I can read that later. Matt Ginn isn't playing for the Storm anymore. Interesting. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough, guys. Fair enough. If I say it enough times, it might even become funny. But it's not. So I should probably stop. I find myself funny. That's the most important thing. Is it? I'll let you decide. You're like, Odd Man Rush, no. Like, you're not funny. And it doesn't matter that you're not funny. Like, we know you're not funny. I was like, oh, but I am funny, right? It's like, no, you're not funny. Oh. Right. So, any other news regarding this stream? Doesn't look like it. Still had over 4,000 people watching, though, so fair play to the Elite League stream. Very glad to see it. Very good indeed. We managed to have a fair few number of people watch this stream as well. So it's all good. Had a good time. At one point, it was about the same amount of people as my NHL franchise stream. So yeah, Sam Gospel was the final pick by the Manchester Storm. I think that's a pretty good pickup for them. Beasts, how's it going, man? What if someone was unfair enough? Maybe. Fair enough, unfair enough, who knows? Who knows? These are the real questions that keep me up at night, you know? Yeah. So, if they're having a little chat, let me just pull down this so I can get an updated list of the picks and everybody that's been made. Then we can sit here and have a little chat about some of these picks. And have a great time. So 23, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That should take us back to the original trade at the beginning. So yeah. Could also have a little look. Yep. It's all good. It's all good. Now I'll just give you a rough overview of what's going on. And then I think we'll call that a stream, shall we, folks? Then you can go back and watch it, get any thoughts whatsoever, and have a little chat. So, let's round this off, folks. One more. So, no more picks are being made. Let's do this. So, to begin with, before the draft even took place, as I mentioned a little while ago, the Manchester Storm traded their first overall pick in this draft, their 9th pick in this draft, and their 16th pick in this draft to the Nottingham Panthers in exchange for the 2nd overall pick, the 7th pick, and the 10th pick. Like I mentioned earlier, they may have dropped one spot in the overall standings in terms of picking players. Missed out on getting Ben Bounds, obviously, which for the Storm would have been really helpful. However, that said, they do move up 2 spots in their 2nd pick in that group, and they move up 6 spots in their 3rd pick, which is kind of the underrated one, if you ask me. You know, I feel like that's, that's important. It's important. Why not? So then, the next pick, the first pick, I should say, of the draft, Ben Bounds. The Nottingham Panthers used that 1st overall pick, picked themselves an absolute stud between the pipes in the UK circuit, get themselves Ben Bounds. Obviously, former Cardiff Devils netminder, recent Graz 99ers netminder. Boom. Sorted. Lovely. Then, 2nd overall pick. Ben Lake, Manchester. They take that 2nd overall pick that they have, use it on Ben Lake. He spent a lot of his development in Germany, over in Europe and all of that stuff. He's a pretty solid player for the Belfast Giants. He was last year. And I think that's a pretty good pick. He's a high-scoring guy. He knows how to play the game. He's been pretty pivotal in the UK circuit for the last year or so, the last couple of years. The 3rd overall pick, the one that belonged to belonged to the team originally anyway, so no picks traded other than that. It's pretty much the only trade of the draft as far as I'm aware. So the post-draft show is starting on Twitter soon. Really don't care about the post-game show. So I'm just going to sit here and have a chat. The 3rd overall pick, Mike Hammond for the Coventry Blaze. I thought he was going to go 2nd. Ben Lake jumps up to 2nd. Mike Hammond goes 3rd. I think that's a really good pick for the Coventry Blaze. Adds a bit of scoring there. They have Ferrara up there. It's going to be an interesting first line there. Hammond and Ferrara, I would imagine. They're both right-handed shots, I believe. So maybe they'll decide to use one on the right wing on the first line, one on the other. Or they might just go full firepower on that first line. I guess have to see how it goes. Then the 4th overall pick of the draft, Matthew Myers. Now, this was an interesting pick for me. He wasn't a guy that I was expecting to go anywhere near the top of the draft. But then I thought about it in the team that was picking him. I thought, okay. Because the Sheffield Steelers, if those of you who were at the beginning of the stream remember, their protected list includes youngster and upcoming GB superstar Liam Kirk, who's played very well since returning to the UK, and I would imagine that will continue into his play with the Steelers in this tournament. Also, they have Robert Dowd, solid goal scorer, one of the best goal scorers in the league by a notable margin compared to a lot of the other competition, and they have Jonathan Phillips, their captain, clutch goal scorer. So they had themselves a solid bottom 6 depth guy. He could probably play 2nd line centre as well if he really wanted to. But usually bottom 6, penalty kill, defensively minded forward, been around the game for a long time, knows how to play that position. Great pick. Solidifies their bottom 6 noticeably. Love that. So that's the first round. We move to the second round. We have Sam Jones, the defenseman for the Sheffield Steelers. They had protected Davy Phillips as their only defenseman, I believe they protected. Because the other one was Brendan Connolly, wasn't it, the forward. So get themselves a decent set of defensemen in Sam Jones and Brendan Connolly. I believe Jones was already signed to the Steelers for this recent season. But yeah, pretty good choice. Pretty good choice. Solidifies their back end, I'm not surprised. Then another defenseman picked 6th overall by the Coventry Blaze in the name of Paul Swindlehurst. He's been around a while, pretty solid player. Not surprised at all in the slightest. Then with the 7th overall, this is the behind the scenes pick, we don't really care about that. 7th overall pick, Josh Batch, another defenseman, but he's also slash forward as well. Josh Batch goes to the Manchester Storm. I believe he's previously played with the Manchester Storm, so not really surprised. although he has played with the Cardiff Devils recently, and he's been a solid second or third pair defenseman, which has helped them win a lot of their championships. You know, he's a guy that he's quite underrated a lot of the time because he doesn't necessarily put up the most points, but he knows how to do his job. He knows how to do it well. Then with the 8th pick, the final pick of the second round, you have Ben Davies going to the Manchester Storm. So they pick themselves up a solid, relatively underrated defenseman, and also get themselves a decent forward who played quite well for Guildford last season while he was there. Then the third round starts. You get Lewis Hook for the Nottingham Panthers, which is a pretty good selection. Former Belfast Giant. Don't know a huge amount about him, but I remember him being one of the better scorers, I believe, for the Nottingham Panthers. Not the Nottingham Panthers, the Belfast Giants. So hopefully he'll add a bit of goal scoring. Maybe they'll match him up with Pelini, because they've got Bounds and Whistle in net. Pelini, Lewis Hook might be a decent 1-2 punch on that first line, depending on what other imports they get. The 10th pick in the draft goes to the Manchester Storm. Now, it's important to mention, it's not the Nottingham Panthers. Up here, it says Manchester Storm, or you might not be able to see that, but the Storm managed to get this pick, and it goes to, they pick Craig Peacock, formerly of the Glasgow Clan. With the 11th pick, Cole Shudra going to the Coventry Blaze. He's a player that, you know, he's an interesting player, Cole Shudra, because he's a guy that he seems to have had quite a lot of upside, but every so often he still finds a way to take a stupid penalty or get himself ejected from a game. There's been parts where he's needed to kind of temper his temper, if it were. But that said, still a solid player, still a solid pick for Coventry. He could be one of those younger guys that maybe steps up and plays a big role for the Coventry Blaze this season. The final pick of the third round going to Josh Waller. The Sheffield Steelers, they pick Josh Waller, former Guildford Flame. Must admit, not too keyed up on Josh Waller's career, I must say. But I would imagine he's a pretty decent selection for them, of the Guildford Flames. The Guildford Flames, they've always been my dark horse team. I've always had a soft spot for the Guildford Flames since they joined the Elite League. They've always been a team that you can't take them for granted because they might have the chance to do this. I've just noticed that they're not up on the screen. There we go. Finally got them up there. Very sorry. Just noticed that now. Only took me 12 bloody picks. Then the 13th pick. We have Alex Graham. The Sheffield Steelers picking up Alex Graham, their talented youngster. Not a surprise. If anybody was surprised at this one, you shouldn't be. Well, if you know the Elite League. If you don't know the Elite League, then you might be surprised. There you go. So, talented youngster. Been potentially considered for the NHL entry draft because he's only 18 years old. Does he get picked? We'll have to find out. Maybe it depends on how well he does in this series. Then with the 14th pick in this draft, Sam Duggan, the early to mid 20-year-old from the Cardiff Devils, now moving to the Coventry Blaze. That's a pretty decent pick for them as well. He's a guy that he's got some time playing in the bottom 6 of the Cardiff Devils, which has been a pretty stacked team for the last few years. However, at the same time, he's never quite stepped up and taken that next step. Maybe getting a bigger role with the Coventry Blaze might give him the opportunity to do so. I guess we'll have to find out. Then with the 15th pick, Mark Garside of the Belfast Giants going to the Nottingham Panthers. I like this. I like this very much as a Panthers fan myself. Solid depth guy. He's been around the league for quite a while, as far as I'm aware. He's been a pretty solid player in the league for the last few years. He's a guy that brings a bit of a veteran presence, a bit of stability to a lineup which they've selected quite a few youngsters for as well. And I think it will make Ben Bounds' job a lot easier because he'll be in front of the net, you know, stopping any traffic from going his way. Then the 16th pick, Owen Griffiths going to the Nottingham Panthers, formerly of the Guildford Flames. Once again, don't know a huge amount about this pick. Is he as good as some of the other Guildford players we've seen selected? I'm not 100% sure. There's probably a reason why he's dropped to 16th overall. But that said, I'm going to keep an open mind about him. I don't know much about him. Give him a chance to prove me right or wrong, I guess. The 17th pick in the draft goes to Matt Hayward going to the Manchester Storm. Now, this is a pretty decent pick. I mean, they're all pretty decent picks. Like, they've picked some solid players, you know, like, regardless of what you say. Matt Hayward goes to the Manchester Storm. He's formerly of the Glasgow Clan. I feel like he's played for the Manchester Storm before, but don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong. I usually am. But so they pick him. I believe he's a forward as well. Then the interesting bit. This is probably one of the most interesting picks outside of the first round for me. Kieran Brown, the youngster for the Sheffield Steelers, going to the Nottingham Panthers. A youngster for the Sheffield Steelers for many, many years now. He moves over. That's going to be really interesting to see. I would love to see Kieran Brown become an absolute stud for the Panthers and score a couple of goals against his former team. That would be a lot of fun to see, because then who knows? Maybe he might stick around next season. I like him. He's a talented youngster. Then, with the 19th overall pick, so we're about halfway through now, we have Mac Howlett going to the Coventry Blaze, formerly of the Glasgow Clan. Once again, don't know too much about him. Pretty decent pick as far as I'm aware. The 20th, so slap bang halfway through, Ben Churchfield, I should say. Ben Churchfield of the University of something. Doesn't quite say down there. He's a goaltender by the looks of him. Based on how huge his equipment is compared to his face, I think he's a goaltender. He gets taken 20th overall, slap bang in the middle of the draft, job done. The Steelers needed a goaltender, they didn't protect one, so there you go. Then the Steelers come back and pick a former player of their team, Jason Hewitt. So, Jason Hewitt hasn't necessarily played for the Steelers for the last couple of years or so, but he gets another chance with them, so why not? Then the 22nd overall pick, Toms Rutkiss for the Coventry Blaze, a youngster slash former youngster of the Cardiff Devils. He's been there for a couple of years now. I think he's kind of like 22, 23, 24 roughly. So maybe he's not necessarily a youngster anymore, but that said, decent depth guy, I'd say, for the for the Cardiff Devils. However, that could be interesting with the fact that he could play a bigger role in Coventry and thrive there. I feel like that might be one of the ideas that Danny Stewart went for when he was selecting this team. Maybe picking up some of those slightly younger guys just before like the prime years of their career, kind of 23, 24, 25-year-olds, picking them up that have been playing depth roles within some of the bigger, more successful clubs and going, okay, let's see if they can step up and perform for our team. Because obviously, it's a tough situation. Coventry aren't necessarily one of the biggest, strongest teams in the league. They're obviously a decent team in the league and they can hold their own. There's no denying that. But at the same time, it's going to be really interesting. There's a couple of guys they've picked here that they're kind of high potential / high risk rewards, or high risk, high potential, high reward signings, you know. But that all depends on them actually fulfilling the role. So whether Rutkiss and some of their other younger guys fulfill the role, we'll have to wait and see. Then the 23rd pick, Jordan Kelsall for the Nottingham Panthers. He's been in the organisation for the last couple of years. He returns to the organisation. He's one of their younger guys. Whether he'll actually get any ice time, we'll have to wait and see. This was a pick made in the 5th round, or 5th/6th round, late 5th rounder, 6th rounder, something like that. So whether he actually makes it into the lineup, we'll have to wait and see. 24th, we have Declan Bulmer of the Manchester Storm, which is a pretty good pick. He's been playing for the Manchester Storm for the last couple of years, as far as I'm aware. And yeah, Declan Bulmer. I don't know a huge amount about him, must admit. So we'll move on to pick number 25. Stephen Murphy for the Manchester Storm, formerly of the Belfast Giants, one of the older players in the league. Is he a netminder? I feel like he's a netminder. That is the Stephen Murphy from Belfast, isn't it? I might be wrong on this, but I feel like that's him. Once again, not a huge expert on the Elite Ice Hockey League. Then, 26, Craig Garrigan going to the Nottingham Panthers. I feel like, based on his jersey, he is a former Fife Flyer, perhaps, based on those jersey colours. I might be wrong, of course. Nottingham Panthers, younger guy. So once again, they pick Kelsall, they pick Garrigan, younger guys. Might get their chance to play in the lineup, obviously. High speed, high intensity kind of guys, have a lot of jump to their game because they're younger and have maybe a bit of speed in their skates. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, that's him, goalie. Wonderful. I did get it right. Thanks, Anthony. Did I just skip past 2? I feel like I skipped past 2. Yeah, pick number 26. What happened to pick number 26? Oh yeah, Craig Garrigan. Already mentioned him. My bad. So then, pick number 27. This is one that I have no idea about. So this is to the Coventry Blaze, Ivan Antonov. He's from the Bracknell Bees, so he's got a bit of experience in kind of the next tier down, which is a pretty decent player as far as I'm aware. We'll have to see if he works up in the EIHL with the Coventry Blaze. I'm not aware of him ever having any EIHL experience, but I might be wrong, so don't quote me on that. And then the final pick of the actual draft before the depth players, Adam Jones for the Sheffield Steelers. He's formerly of the Telford Tigers now. And yeah, and he originally signed with the Fife Flyers, I believe, but obviously he's not playing for the Fife Flyers because that's not the way it goes. Then I believe, without an ounce of hyperbole, the most exciting natural gifted forward I've seen. Okay, Anthony, fair enough, fair enough. Interesting. Right, so there wasn't any other choices for picks there, so I might have to refresh the page, or I could just use this one. Yeah, so the last few picks, let's just find them. I'll just scroll through a couple, and we'll get the last few picks up there for you. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we should be there. Destroyed the EIHL on his own. I think it's fair to say, fantastic dude, never played in the EIHL. Well, let's see how he does then. I'm looking forward to seeing how Antonov plays in with the Coventry Blaze. Maybe he lights up for them as well. So, the final few picks of the draft, we've got about 11 more picks to go. Jack Muzzle, or Musil. Musil, I don't know. He's not a big guy, but he's superb. Okay, so he's kind of an undersized guy. Interesting. Okay, let's see if that lack of size hinders him in the Elite League. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, Jack Muzzle, Sheffield Steelers, former Glasgow Clan. There you go. Boom. These are the depth signings now. Sam Russell from the Milton Keynes Lightning going to the Coventry Blaze. Youngster. Maybe he'll get a chance to play in the Coventry Blaze system once again, kind of following that same philosophy. Liam Stenton going to the Nottingham Panthers, formerly of the Solway Sharks. Another young guy. Maybe he has the chance to help step up a little bit more. Pick number 32, Jacob Lutweich. I believe of the Manchester Storm, so I think he's sticking around with the team for a little while longer. Pick number 33, Ben Solder for the Manchester Storms. They picked themselves a couple of decent younger guys, and he's obviously been playing relatively well in the recent Spring Cup with the Raiders, so let's see how he does. Then we have pick number 34 of the draft, going to the Nottingham Panthers, Morgan Clark Pizzo. I believe, is that David Clark's son? I feel like that might be David Clark's son, but Clark is spelt with an E, isn't it? David Clark, the original David Clark. Although it's spelt with an E in the description, but not on the graphic. So I might be right, I might be wrong. I don't know. I feel like it's Clarky's son. I might be wrong on that though. Pick number 35, Will Bray, going to the Coventry Blaze, a netminder, younger guy by the looks of it. So they've got themselves a veteran guy, they've got themselves a bit of a younger, maybe an experienced guy, and maybe they'll compete against each other. Maybe Coventry will pick themselves up a import goaltender, which they are well within their rights to do so. Pick number 36, Curtis Warburton, the Sheffield Steelers' final pick in this draft, because they didn't want to use their 37th overall pick. So, Curtis Warburton, however you wish to pronounce it, he joins the Sheffield Steelers. Pick number 38, because 37 was skipped over, Austin Mitchell-King, pure white, you love him. He goes to the Coventry Blaze. There you go. I love the comment next to it. There's Clark's son. Knew it. Could badly drawn EIHL do a quick artist impression to fill in the missing photo. I love that. Really good. The penultimate pick of the draft, Will Curlin, going to the Nottingham Panthers, which is going to be interesting. Will he get the chance to play for the Panthers this season? Will he not? I guess we'll have to find out. And last, but by no means least, Sam Gospel, the third string netminder in the Nottingham Panthers organisation for as long as anyone can remember. Sam Gospel gets himself a chance to play for the Manchester Storm, maybe. So, there's a good... Oh, Warburton is a goalie, is he? Okay, I didn't know that. Saw his first senior win, tall guy, good movement. Nice. Good to know. Good to know indeed, folks. Good to know indeed. So, yeah. That's a look at the GB Players Draft for the 2021 EIHL Elite Series. I think this is a perfect place to end today's stream. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how that went. We had a pretty decent amount of people watching for the most part. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated. And yeah, there's just kind of a little extra thing I wanted to do this week because, you know, it was just fun. You know, something like this doesn't happen very often in the EIHL. We don't usually get drafts or trades or picks taking place, so why not do something a little special for it and we can have a good time. So, yeah, I'm going to end the stream here, guys. Feel free to send a super chat if you appreciated the stream and you enjoyed watching for was it, hour and a half that I've been up? Something like that, hour and 45 minutes? About an hour and 45 minutes, something like that. I do appreciate all of you guys coming out. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. And, yeah, going to end the stream here, guys. So I've got a video going out on Thursday, so keep an eye out for that, folks. Catch you later, guys. Bye!